so good afternoon, friends.
Good afternoon.
Today we're going to go through a presentation that is titled Student-Led Data Conferences. And in this presentation, we're going to take an innovative approach. We're going to take a what approach?
Innovative.
An innovative approach. And we must take this approach because we believe that this is the only approach that is going to empower these students to be successful scholars in this district.
All right. And so we know today is Friday, and so we've been through the hustle and bustle of today. We know that we have to adjust schedules due to bi-weeklies. We know that we also had to spend majority of our day around the Black History Program. So we want to start off with an icebreaker, kind of cooling us down and get us prepared for today's PD. So really quick, I want you to take a moment and think of your theme song. Think of a song that represents your personality. Maybe if you step in the room, you know someone will cue this song for you. Think of your theme song, and I want you to take 30 seconds and write it down and get you prepared. 30 seconds.
What is your theme song? If somebody was to ask you what song represents you, or they would play this song and immediately get you on dance floor, what would be this song? What is your theme song?
Your genre, you choose.
2 cents remaining. All right, back to me. So keep it in your paper, keep it in your mind, and we're going to go to our next icebreaker. So our next icebreaker says, what is your karaoke song? So if you was to go out to a bar, or someone's give you a stage and a mic, what would be the #1 karaoke song you would get up there and perform? What would be your Beyonce one? All right, 30 seconds and go. Give me a mic, you get up on this stage. What would you perform? What is this song? 5 seconds. All right, and lastly, the last part of this icebreaker. Name a song that makes you cry. It can be a happy cry or a sad cry. But what is that song? 30 seconds and go. Remaining. What is that song that makes you cry? It can be a happy cry or a sad cry. What song is it? All right, back to me in 3, back to me in 2, back to me in 1. So let's share out. I'm going to cold call you. You know, you don't know who I'm going to call on, so I'm going to start off with Mr. Leroy. Name all 3. What was your theme song?
All right, my first theme song is We Read About Lil Jon.
We read it. Okay, like y'all know the song?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your karaoke song?
My karaoke song is Tank. It's called Close.
Close. Close. Okay.
All right, and my third theme song is Mama by Boys the Men.
Okay, let's give him some shine. All right, Mr. Arson, what are your 3 songs? What is your theme song, your karaoke song, and a song that makes you cry?
All right, my theme song is Superfly by Curtis Mayfield. My karaoke song is I'm Just a City Boy. I think about Journey.
Okay.
About Journey. And my song that makes me cry is I Wish by Tom Mitchell.
Oh, y'all heard this song?
Yes.
Yes, this is the song. All right. So,
Hey, let's see.
all right, everybody, give yourself a hand, and some love. Thank you all for being so confident and willing to share out with us. I learned a little bit about all of you, and now I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. So, very quickly, I am Lauren Smith. I am a 2nd grade ELA and close reading teacher here at PCA Elementary Hickory Hill. And not only that, I'm also enrolled in Christian Brother University's Reading Specialist program, in which I will be finalizing my journey there in May. So I am excited about that. And I'm going to turn it over to my partner.
And I am Leanne Smith. I'm also a 2nd grade ELA teacher, close reading teacher here at PCA EHH. And as Lauren just stated, we're nearing the Reading Specialist program, so we are excited to move into a new role. So pray for us, y'all. All right. So today, as we begin to immerse ourselves in student-led conferences, we're going to focus on 2 different types of conferences. Our first is the student-led data conferences, which you will see that it's gonna encompass a teacher and a student. And then we are going to look at student-led data conferences with a twist, this time with a parent. So, yeah, we are going to advance ourselves in student-led conferences and see how it leads to student mastery. Yeah.
All right, and so here are our objectives for today. All right, so for both of these different type of conferences, again, we have the student-led data conference and we also have the teacher-led data conferences. By the end of this presentation, the learners, which are you all, will be able to identify the benefits. Say benefits.
Benefits.
Are benefits good or bad?
Good.
Good. So you all will be able to identify the good things about student-led conferences from the teacher and both the student role. You also want to know how to prepare for your own student-led conferences. And lastly, we're going to provide you all with opportunities to model, practice, and apply. To do what? Model, practice, and apply. And at the end, you all will officially be able to say you are what? On the count of three, let's read this, y'all. 1, 2, 3.
Student-led conference champ.
Oh, y'all said that in the board. Well, let's say it again. 1, 2, 3.
Student-led conference champ.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. So first things first, Ms. Smith, what are student-led conferences? Student-led conferences are considered to be modern. Not only modern, they are considered to be innovative in the realm of education due to several key features that distinguish them from the traditional parent-teacher conferences. Someone read out the first one. Go ahead, Maya.
Allow students to lead the conference, which gives them autonomy.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Ms. Skinner.
Help students build trust with their advisor or teacher.
And lastly, Ms. Cleveland.
Deepens the capacity for students to advocate for themselves, which is a necessary skill that they will need to carry with them into the future.
Can you all believe that?
Yes.
And believe it or not, in the city of Memphis and around the city of Memphis in different municipalities, they are leading the charge in student-led conferences. They're doing something different that most public schools are not doing. And I just believe that Gestalt is crazy, but crazy in a good way. They are not afraid to be the change agents. Not only that, they are not afraid to push the envelope. And so, this is why we believe in these student-led conferences, and we believe in the difference that they will make with our scholars.
And as Gestalt is moving towards becoming a data-driven network, and PCAESHH is becoming a data-driven school, Lauren and I came together and said, what way do we see this within our core values? And our core values of innovation states that we can only be our best if we are willing to reevaluate and refine what we do. So what are we refining? We are refining the way that we do conferences. So I know traditionally we see parent-teacher conferences, right? Where the parent is facilitating conversations along with the teacher, but we don't necessarily see students talking at all. So in this case, we are letting children lead the charge and becoming their voice for learning. So, all right, so how are student-led conferences innovative? I want y'all to just think about it and be honest. I'm a teacher right now, right? So I want to be honest myself. Let's think about it for a second. When was the last time you've heard a scholar take ownership of their own data or was able to confidently conduct their own meeting? When? Be honest, be vocal so we can hear you. When?
Wow.
I've not seen that.
You have not
never
seen
seen that.
All right, think about this. If you were to ask the students their goals or even their scores from their NWEA test in the fall, winter, or even their goal for the spring, could they tell you?
They might not remember it.
They may not remember. Do they even know what this data means?
No.
Do they know what NWEA stands for?
No.
It's just something that we show students. They don't know what they're doing. They just know that we ask them to do it so they complete their test. But can they confidently have a conversation leading about this?
No.
All right, and lastly, I want you all to think about this. When was the last time you've seen scholars leading their own conferences and expressing to their teachers their strengths or even their weaknesses so far in the school year? When? Do we give them the autonomy to do that?
No.
Do we give them the opportunity to use their voice?
No, not really.
Think about it.
All right, so as we strive to take an innovative approach to approaching our network with a new found concept, we want to, again, become change agents using the innovative lens of one one of our core values, with these student-led conferences, that eventually leads to student achievement. So that's how we go. So we are gonna focus on the two core values, innovation and achievement, have them both to meet in order to get our students, close to mastery, alright? Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to watch a video of a parent-student-led conference, and actually this comes from one of the teachers in our network. As we read as we watch this video, I want you guys thinking, what did the teacher have to do in order to successfully prepare for this student-led conference, right? So again, this conference is actually one with the parent. So you have the student, the parent, and the teacher. And the student is going to be the one who's driving this conference. Got it? Here it goes. What did the teacher do to successfully prepare for this conference?
Hello, we are going to start our student-led conference with Johan Vasquez and his mom, Mrs. Vasquez. All right, you ready? Yes. All right, it's your show, go ahead. So tell you what are some things that you enjoy doing outside of school? What do you like to watch? Netflix. Oh, Netflix too. What's particular? What's your favorite show on Netflix? Cool beans. All right, what's your favorite?
It's kind of low, I'm sorry, it's kind of low.
Soccer. Okay, soccer's cool. And what about your favorite subject?
My favorite subject is math
Math, why?
because you can add, subtract, and multiply.
All right, what about reading? All right, do you have a specific story that we've read in close reading that may be your favorite so far? Because right now we're reading what? What type of story? Folktale, all right. And so what is your favorite folktale you read so far? The cat, I like that one too. All right, so Mom, what were some of your goals, that you have for your home at the beginning of school year?
I really want him when he starts the school year, like he going like good on math because I know he's very good on math.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he is excited like doing that.
Mhm.
But I really liked reading for him.
Okay.
We tried to do reading at home,
Uh-huh.
and when the school year started,
Mhm.
I wanted for him to work in the combination.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know. But yeah, that was my goal, and I know he's doing good on
Mhm.
that, so I'm not worried about
Okay.
math.
Okay.
Reading, yeah, so.
Mhm. Okay.
I'm good with you because I know you're an expert.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
So-
All right, so we're gonna stop the video right here, and I want you to write down, what is one thing you noticed? What did the teacher have to do in order to prepare for a successful student-led data meeting with the parent?
Well, at this point, so you didn't see, anything that, as far as like data and stuff yet, but what did you notice that the teacher started the conference off with?
She asked the kid about things that he likes.
Kids that things that the kid like, what else?
What is his favorite subject?
Favorite subject,
Okay.
And why,
favorite subject and why.
why it was his favorite subject,
Alright, what did you notice about the teacher asking about the parent input? What did you ask?
about what her goals were for her son, this year.
Alright, so we seeing that the parent is involved by, setting, I guess, the she wants for her child for the year.
All right, but we know the purpose of a student-led conference is for the student to take charge and take majority of the conference up. So what do we think, let's go to our essential question. What did the teacher have to do in order to prepare for the meeting?
Well,
What did she have to have?
So I think the teacher had to have the questions prepared to get that student to engage.
Absolutely.
And to be able to find things to get him to be able to answer the question. So the teacher had to prepare the questions to get that conference going, to actually energize that student, to make him feel comfortable in engaging in his own meeting.
Okay, I agree. What about the tone? What do you feel like the tone of the meeting was so far? Do you feel like
It was kids-friendly.
kids-friendly,
Kid-friendly,
conversational.
conversation?
You can tell there's a level of comfort
Mhm.
that he has with the teacher.
Mhm.
That he would freely, and it appears that he may also be a scholar that participates in class.
Mhm.
Right.
And so the teacher has already developed their relationship so that when he is asked questions outside the norm,
Mhm.
he's okay with that.
Okay, absolutely, and I want you to keep that in mind as you all are taking on the charge of facilitating your own student-led conference. Be thinking about the tone, be thinking about the kind of questions that you wanna make sure that you're asking scholars, that they're able to answer. And again, getting their parent, involved in their students' learning. Alright, this next clip I'm going to play, I want you to be listening at what did the teacher have to have prepared in order for this conference to be successful? Alright, here we go.
President and Amelia, end of the EAT, all right? So, Yohan, tell your mom, how many times a year do we take this end of the EAT test? 3 times a year, okay, we take it in the
Fall, winter, and the spring.
spring, right, so we take this test 3 times a year. It's a skills-based test. It tells us whether he's growing in certain skills areas or whether, he needs to improve in some areas. All right, so Yohan, when you took it in the fall, look, let's go back. Tell your mom, what was your goal at the beginning of the school year for the end of the year test? What did you write?
One of my goals for reading is to try my best and to pass reading.
To pass reading. All right, and tell your mom the 2 ways that you were going to reach your goal.
One way to reach my goal is to get back in the text, and another way is to take my time and to reach my goal is to write.
All right, so you wanted to, you said you wanted to look back in the text, so cite evidence to show that you really comprehend what you read, and you wanted to work on your writing. So we are going to see if your goals are actually coming true with this second grade, okay? So when we took the test in the fall, tell your mom, what was your score?
My score was 181.
Was 181, all right? And so when we took it in the spring, right after winter break, tell your mom what your goal was.
My goal for winter was 191.
And what did you score?
197.
All right, tell your mom, was it a good thing or a bad thing?
A good.
A good thing, it's a very good thing. Based on your score of a 1, what is that with the 181 you got in fall? What color did you land with that one?
Yeah.
You landed in green. And if you land on green, it tells us that you are approaching what?
10 grade.
You're approaching 10 ready. So when 10 ready is the big test that they must take at the end of the school year. So it shows that at the beginning of the school year, he was already on track to pass this test. All right, and so, when we took it in the winter, right, you grew how many points, your mom? So your goal was 181, but you got a 187. So how many points did you pass? From a 181 to a 187.
60.
6 points, 6 points. And based on that growth, look what color And I'm excited for you. All right, so what did you do? What do you think you did? Do you think you put these goals into action in order to get to the 197? Because remember you said you had one way to, that you were gonna reach your goal was to do it.
To abide in the test.
To go to the text. So those passages that were on the text in the wintertime, do you think you took your time, read the questions, and then went back to the text to find your answer?
All right, so we're gonna stop the video right here. All right, so on your desk you have two sticky notes. You have two what?
Sticky note.
One is yellow, the other is blue. One is what?
Yellow.
And the other one is
Blue.
on that yellow sticky note. I want you to write one thing that you notice the teacher doing in this teacher day conference, and on the blue,
And the student made
the student day conference, and on the blue sticky note, I want you to write one thing that you notice the student doing. So again, the yellow stands for teacher actions, and the blue stands for student actions.
And when you, get your sticky note ready, you come up and put it on an anchor chart, one side for teacher action, one side for student scholars action. In writing, just think about what did the teacher have to have prepared in order to facilitate a successful student-led conference, and what did the, student have to be knowledgeable about in order for them to be the drivers of their own student-led conference. 30 seconds. Now, one more person sit right there, we'll wait for 30 more seconds. All right, back to me in 3, back to me in 2, back to me in 1. So I'm just gonna quickly and briefly read out some of the responses that you all wrote on your sticky notes. So for teacher actions, it said, alright, the teacher had to have the data. Somebody said data from all the tests. The student could read and understand what was asked of him. He knows the goals that he created. Yep. And so for scholars, it says that, he was able to read his own data, explain his goals and what they mean. Students were aware of the data and scores. The teacher had her questions prepared for the child. All right, and so we know that all of these components work together in order to facilitate on the teacher's end a student-led conference. So you must have like things like data prepared. You must have questions that you can ask kids so they're able to.
You must have
Student work samples, all those good things. So all these things work together in order to have a great student-led conference. All right, we're gonna watch one last clip, and then we're gonna be out y'all here. All right.
All right, so do you think your goals are working?
Yeah.
I think so too. You should give yourself a pat on the back. I'm excited for you, so I'm so excited to see, that, you are, I know you are gonna meet your goals. Well, so not only meet it, but you should do it.
Exceed.
Excellent job. So, this is gonna be one area that we are going to, tackle in our small groups.
thought it was a 70.
70, all right. You wanna open up and tell everybody which school is 70? No, this one wanted, you, please. All right, hold on, let me get this. Go ahead.
I picked C, but it was wrong.
Okay, it's okay. Read the question, what did he say?
How does one change from the beginning to the end of the passage?
Right, how does one change from the beginning to the end of the passage, and what answer did you choose?
C.
C, read it.
At first he was unhappy to go to a new school, but then he is surprised and motivated.
All right, and so based on this question, what part of C was wrong?
That mom doesn't take into account the way
So who actually does?
grandpa.
Grandpa, all right, let's go back in the text and see who signed the evidence. I want you to go down to paragraph 13, I want you to read through one.
Mom and dad nod their heads up and down. I grab grandpa's hand. We set off to the park.
To the part. So, we just know if you would have just read that one little line and would use one of your goals as doing what? Going back.
Look at the text.
Right, you think that's going up or down? If you went back in the text to look really closely to see that grandpa was the one that took him to the front instead of mom, your score would went up or down? Up. So, it's okay because remember, it's just practice, so we just practicing every other week just to kind of get you closer to, passing the what?
10 minutes.
The 10 minutes, so again, you're on track. Assembly is not bad, right? It's not failing, but we always know there's room for improvement. So, of course, next time we're just gonna do what our goal says to do is just what?
Look back in the
Look back and
text.
text, and guess what? We have our weekly coming up tomorrow. So we're gonna see, if we're gonna do the 70 and,
Up or down.
and we're gonna run through.
Up.
Oh, let me tell you what your score is. I'm sorry, I know. Your math by weekly from last week. What was your score?
90.
It was a 90, but I think there was a question that was wrong. It should have been
Correct.
so your score should have been 100. You had the perfect score. Well, you did have the perfect score. So I was so proud of your honey. So, like I said, so far he's on track to passing the 10 rating. So I'm so excited to see all the great things you're doing. All right.
Okay, again, so, thinking of how the teacher showed Johan his recent, test data, and according to, I guess, our standards, for the test, we saw that the score wasn't the best score, but it wasn't the worst score either. What did you notice the teacher, did in this case to help the scholar move towards mastery? What did you see the student take charge of and say, okay, I'm gonna do this differently on the next test?
The scholar, you saw where, well, the teacher, showed him the actual test.
Mm-hmm.
And they went through those tests and those items that he missed. And then she asked him based on his goals, so she took him back to what he said, so that's empowering part. To kind of make sure that he was doing what he said. And also you're showing mom that, hey, we're teaching him how to actually do the work. And then she can support him at home by making him go back into the text.
I'm gonna thank you so much for sharing, Ms. Kim. Anybody else want to share? All right, go
The
ahead.
teacher also made the student to, go back into the text to find his answers as well.
All right, he was able to do one of his goals that he had before himself at the beginning of the year by looking back in the text to cite the evidence. Great job, Ms. Armstrong. Anybody else?
One of the things that I've noticed from the video is that the teacher was a coach. She was coaching the student on being successful. And that gave that student some empowerment of having confidence in himself.
Would y'all agree? All right, so again, all of these things are gonna be super important, especially when you get ready to apply this piece, in your next week's, student-led conference that you are gonna have with one of your students. So be mindful of all these pieces that you said, and we are gonna be looking for these things when we come to see your video of this student-led conference. All right.
Things to
All right, right? So again, how does this work? These are all the things that students must have in order for them to be able to facilitate their own learning. Let's quickly read out the bullets. Go ahead, Ms. Falcon.
Continually self-assess their progress based on learning targets.
All right,
Each student keeps graded assignments in the appropriate folder or the student work folder. Students do not throw away work.
Before conferences, students gather 2 or 3 pieces of work from each of their academic working folders that demonstrates their ability to meet learning targets.
Students put work in a single group folder that they keep up with.
Students complete a self-evaluation, they reflect on their progress and the areas in which they need to improve.
all right. Students are prepared to share goals and strategies to obtain these goals with important adults in their lives. So again, these are the things that scholars must be able to know and apply in order to lead the charge of their own, student-led conferences. All right, so as far as teachers goes,
Alright, so students, teachers, in order for you to facilitate your own conference, you must set clear guidelines and expectations. You must prepare in advance, you must schedule and think about the logistics, you must have communication with the parents, that means you need to be able to report with them. You have to have effective feedback and reflection. You have to have different type of assessment strategies that you wanna use, and make sure that you celebrate their successes. That is the only way that it is going to empower them, and that is the only way that these student-led conferences will be successful.
and not, when celebrating success, it doesn't necessarily mean like A's and B's. Whether a student moves from a 50 to a 55, it's still some sort of success, so you wanna make sure you celebrate all types of success. All right, and so, we are getting ready to practice, we're going to, how to, I guess, facilitate student-led conferences.
So everybody go ahead and stand up. Alright, so I'm gonna separate you all into group A, group B. Mr. Collins.